Thanks, Dan. This was a Premier League clash as recently as January 2008. Again, the Portsmouth won 3-1 with Benjani scoring a hat-trick. Portsmouth went on to win the FA Cup that season. Derby went on to be relegated. They have the same agenda this season, and that is to win promotion from League One, and they are locked together on points right now. Portsmouth are 5th, 28 points from 16. Derby are 6th, 28 points from 17. Let me give you the two teams quickly. Portsmouth with Josh Griffiths in goal, Zach Swanson, Sean Raggett, Clark Robertson and Connor Ogilvie at the back, Owen Dale, Marlon Pack, Jay Mingy and Josh Coroma in midfield, and a front two of James Scarlett and Colby Bishop. As for Derby, Joe Wildsmith in goal. We think a back five: Louis Sibley, Craig Forsyth, Aaron Cashin, Jake Rooney and Corey Smith. Conor Howrahan, Max Bird and Liam Thompson in midfield. David McGoldrick just off James Collins. It's a fascinating game, though, Conor. It really, really is.
Yeah, I mean, great Friday night game under lights. You mentioned about Dan mentioned about the fans, sold out fans. It's a nice excuse to leave early on a Friday, right? Got to go to the football away game. That's what it's all about. And Friday night games under lights, they're great.
Portsmouth players in a huddle away to our left in their iconic blue shirts, white shorts and red socks, playing from left to right in this first period. Derby in the famous white shirts and black shorts and black socks, playing from right to left as we look at it. And it will be Portsmouth to get us underway. It'll be Dane Scarlett, the 18-year-old on loan from Tottenham, to get this game underway. Portsmouth unbeaten at home this season in all competitions. That's the challenge that faces Derby County tonight, to become the first visiting team to win at Fratton Park. And we are underway. Roar around Fratton Park. Big crowd in tonight, as the ball straight away is given away by Portsmouth, but they managed to recover through Raggett, and then the first clearance from Josh Griffiths. The Portsmouth goalkeeper is downfield, headed away by Cashin. It drops to Sibley for Derby, hugging the left touchline. Infield to Collins, but he's well challenged in midfield there by Marlon Pack. And now Mingy with a nice little surge, taking away from a couple of players in midfield for Portsmouth. But that's one well by Derby in midfield. So really raucous start to the game as McGoldrick goes to ground, and the free kick's actually been given, I think, for an earlier offence. McGoldrick went to ground. It's a Derby free kick around about 10 yards inside the Portsmouth half.
Yeah, frenetic start. But this one starts with a kick-off for Portsmouth. I mean, really, really simple. Ball goes back to Marlon Pack from the kick-off. And you think, right, where are you going to put it now? He delays. In the end, he goes back to Swanson. Swanson plays it back to Marlon Pack, who's completely crowded out and pressed. You just think, well, immediately you're put on the back foot. Just be decisive. You get the ball there, Marlon Pack. Just put it in behind and force Derby back. Don't give them any initiative. Bad start from Portsmouth.
Second minute of play, and it is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. But Derby with this early free kick, which Conor Howrahan, the Republic of Ireland player, will play in. Header up, but not really away, but that's a comfortable one for Josh Griffiths in the Portsmouth goal on loan from West Brom. And he bowls the ball out to Ogilvie on the left-hand side. A lot of space for him to move into, and he shifts it down the left-hand side. Early chance here for Coroma to run down the left-hand side, and he tried to get that ball in, and the free kick is given Portsmouth's way, and Portsmouth stretching the pitch early on there.
Yeah, that was a good move. Nice restart there from Griffiths in terms of getting the ball back in play early. Good wing play from Coroma, and he's won a free kick wide, so that's a bit better from Portsmouth.
Sean Raggett is up from the back, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ogilvie is there as well, so plenty of big targets to aim for here for Portsmouth. Early opportunity for Pompey to apply pressure. It'll be played in left-footed. It'll be an out-swinger. Lots of pushing and jostling around the penalty spot. Referee just checking everything is to his liking. It's taken a long old while for this ball to be played in. It's curled in towards the far post, just over the head of Raggett. And it'll come to this near side as we look at it, the right, and Owen Dale with a chance to surge infield. And Pat works it to Mingy on the right-hand side for Portsmouth. Midway inside the Derby half. Back to Marlon Pack. First time ball out to the right-hand side for Dale. Down with the corner flag. Early cross. It's a high hanging ball towards that far post, heading down into the 6-yard box. and then the volley over the top from Josh Koroma. It was barely even a half chance really, and Derby survived.
That was unlucky. Brilliant ball in, was it, from Aaron Dowell on the half volley, put in right by the corner flag, and that's much more like it from Portsmouth. You can see they had the wide free kick. The player they're aiming for is Sean Raggett at the back post. He's the one that obviously is so good in the air. That's much more like it.
Portsmouth 0, Derby 0 on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. Plenty of games coming your way on the Talksport network, including Arsenal against Manchester United and WSL tomorrow. That's at 5:30 on Saturday. Got Qatar against Ecuador, the opening game of the World Cup finals in Qatar. That's on Sunday at 4. Surge here from Sibley down the left-hand side for Derby. It's a really determined run. He's down at the corner flag here, but Gale matched him stride for stride there for Portsmouth, and they're able to clear long. And that's one for Scarlett to chase. Forsyth comes across, the veteran, and deals with the danger and bangs the ball onto the roof of the stands on this near side, the Portsmouth right, as we look at it.
Yeah, took no chances there for Forsyth. I mean, superb run from Sibley, wasn't it? As soon as he gets it, first thought, I'm just going to run with this. He's a powerful boy as well. Took it over the halfway line and got to the byline. Excellent surge and run there from the Derby left wing back.
It's going to be Swanson to take, signed from Arsenal, just 22. Zach Swanson got an equaliser against Shrewsbury in the last home game, and here he is from the throw, tries to cross it, hits Harahan, loops up in the air, ball comes to a pack now, nods it towards the edge of the Derby area, but Cashin clears well. Ogilvy's header up towards the Derby area, and Portsmouth's trying to build up a head of steam, but now it breaks to the other end, and here's McGoldrick down the left-hand side. Excellent hold-up play from him. That really is outstanding, and a lovely back heel for Harahan early. Drifted ball into the box, and the header is wide of the target from James Collins, but that was a gorgeous Derby counter-attack, and Collins with the header guides it just wide of that far post.
Yeah, we just saw, McGoldrick's Mouse there, brilliant hold-up play, good turn of pace as well in terms of getting there ahead of Sean Raggett in the channel, and lovely little back heel to Hurahan. Superb idea from Conor Hurahan, playing that early ball in behind for James Collins, and just couldn't quite get a clean contact with the header, but that's better from Derby.
Portsmouth, a hard team to beat. They've lost just twice in League One this season. 2 defeats in 16 games. The ball played forward by Mingy, and he goes down, and it's a bit late. Kick for Portsmouth.
Yeah, it's a bit late there from Conor Hurahan. The ball was there maybe to be won. He had to lunge for it, went in, sliding challenge, and took Mingy out. And they got to be careful, Derby, because if you keep giving away set pieces to Portsmouth, they got some big players in their side, so
again they send them up from the back. Portsmouth haven't been scoring on a regular basis, but they haven't given much away this season. They've only leaked 18 goals in their 16 league games, including 8 in the 8 home matches, but they haven't been scoring multiple goals on a regular basis. Can they take an early advantage here? It's a free kick, just a few yards inside from the far touchline.
All the Portsmouth players are all standing offside, all of them.
It's floated towards that far post. Raggett with the initial header, and the volley from the edge of the box by Koroma is a long, long way over the crossbar. A few catcalls from the Derby fans.
I mean, what Derby are doing is pretty brave. I mean, they are holding their line, and all the Portsmouth players attacking that ball are all standing a couple of yards offside. So say to Derby, well, are you going to brave it? Because once that ball comes in, obviously, the Derby defence will drop, and it's brave to hold that line. What Derby are trying to do, trying to keep Portsmouth out of their box as long as possible. I mean, you've got to say they got away with it that time, but it's a brave tactic.
Raggett winning the header against Collins. That's one of the key battles tonight. Ball falls for Ogilvy on the left-hand side for Portsmouth. Tries to work it up that far touchline. He's looking for Koroma again. Really good surge on the right-hand side, and a nice little 1-2 as McGoldrick spreads the play to the right, and a sliding challenge which goes Portsmouth's way. Ogilvy in there on Thompson, and the ball rolled out for a Portsmouth goal kick. We've had 8 minutes at Fratton Park, and it is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0.
That was unlucky. They didn't really have anyone in the box there anyway, Derby. But yeah, it's been a very open game, that's for sure. And Portsmouth had a couple of goal kicks now. You just wonder if they're going to be brave and play out, because McGoldrick has stood up alongside James Collins, just trying to prevent Portsmouth playing out. And again, Josh Griffiths takes no chances and punts it long.
It's one for Corey Smith to deal with in the right back area for Derby, and then Forsyth with a long clearance. He's taking no chances tonight. There've been a couple of those.
Yeah.
Smash it away. Something to be said for that.
Have it. I'm sure they're saying as they clear that ball.
Get it booted. Here we go. It'll be Ogilvie with a throw midway inside the Derby half on the far side, the Portsmouth left, and they work it back to Raggett now. They work with the Portsmouth boss Danny Cowley at Lincoln. Scored the winning goal when Lincoln were a non-league side against Premier League Burnley at the time in the FA Cup, famous late winner. Known for his defensive work primarily, is Scarlett forages well in the inside right channel, and now Dale putting on the afterburners on the right hand side. Can he get the cross in? He can't. He just ran out of room and lost his balance at the critical moment, and it was actually really good defending from Cashin as well, who matched him stride for stride.
Yeah, maybe just, Dale, he took one touch too many there. I think he could have put that ball in the box. He's got a front two in there, try to take his man on and get to the byline. It was a good foot race, but I just think just get the ball in the box. Could have been another delivery. That's where they got the earlier chance from Cromer, wasn't it? Good ball in the box from Dale, and in terms of numbers, efficiency as a winger, I'll be thinking, right, how many times can I get across in the box? Certainly with how Portsmouth play with that front two.
A couple of creditable results in cup competitions recently for Derby. Pushed the young Liverpool side all the way at Anfield before losing on penalties in the League Cup, and beat Torquay 5-0 in their most recent game in the FA Cup. 4 changes from that side tonight. Swanson's throw for Portsmouth, just shy of halfway. It's onto the chest of Marlon Pack, who has not long returned from injury. Played in the 1-1 draw at Morecambe last time out. Flicked on by Owen Dale. I think it might have flicked off his back actually, but Scarlett couldn't retain possession. Well won in there by Liam Thompson, just 20. The midfielder for Derby, born in Nottingham, and scored his first Derby goal in that 5-0 win against Torquay. His first in 40 appearances for the Rams. Ball pumped long now by Portsmouth towards the right hand side, but that's too long for Colby Bishop. And that goal for Thompson netted him a mug. Paul Warne, the Derby boss, gets players who score their first goal for the club a mug, which is an unusual motivation tactic. It has their face on. Somebody, not at Derby, he's done that at Rotherham. There was an own goal, and he put the picture of the person who scored the own goal on the mug.
And did he, when he handed to him, say, "You mug"?
Well, probably. I won't put words in his mouth.
No.
Or awful jokes in his mouth either. But there we go. Free kick for Derby, midway inside their own half. We've had just over 11 minutes at Fratton Park, and it is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0, and it's going to be first card of the evening. And the yellow card is shown to Clark Robertson.
It's another heavy challenge on David McGoldrick. They know, his career might be entering the twilight, but he gets the ball to his feet, he's dangerous. He can make something happen even on the halfway line. Unnecessary foul, no need, but McGoldrick's a marked man.
It's hit long towards the corner of the area, headed down towards McGoldrick. Right foot shot, and it hits the top of the crossbar from David McGoldrick. An instinctive, wonderful effort. Hit on the volley, right-footed. The goalkeeper was beaten, but the crossbar was not.
Well, we came back to what we touched on before the game, right? In terms of long ball up, who wins that first flick on? It's James Collins. Ball bounces down. McGoldrick chests it up in the air, and then a brilliant volley on the sort of half volley side. He crashes back off the bar. That is a quality he possesses. I think he's a brilliant striker. So unlucky.
Listening to live EFL commentary on Talksport 2. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. That was a little bit hot to handle, that back pass towards Joe Wildsmith, but he did well to sweep it away left-footed. Cashin has completely cleared that from the edge of his own area for Derby. Then a solid header there from Jake Rooney up towards halfway, and that's well swept by McGoldrick out to the right-hand side. Corey Smith with a bit of room to manoeuvre here. Koroma comes across to him, but Derby able to retain possession. That's the closest we've come to a goal tonight. That wonderful effort from McGoldrick. 6 goals in all competitions for him, 4 in the league. As the ball is knocked out of play inadvertently by Derby, it'll be a throw to Portsmouth on the near side, the right. What do you make of the opening quarter of an hour?
Yeah, it's been good. Pretty open end to end. I think both sides obviously love the 3 points. They're a pretty open game going for it.
Portsmouth unbeaten in this stadium this season, a record that Danny Cowley, their manager, says he's very proud of. They've swept out towards Ogilvie. On the left-hand side, he lays it off here to Koroma coming inside. He does tend to do that. Josh Koroma on that left-hand side wants to come in and combine if he can, but on this occasion the attack breaks down and Rooney sweeps it up towards halfway. The attack breaks down though, Collins not able to quite bring it down. They haven't quite got him into the game so far. And then a free kick goes Portsmouth's way.
A bit of an overzealous challenge there, and Zach Swanson is sort of saying, well, you know, that should be a booking, shouldn't it? I mean, if Robertson, my teammate, got booked a moment ago, I mean, what was wrong with that? It's pretty similar, I've got to say. Got away with that one, Collins.
These two teams are 14 points adrift of the leaders Plymouth. They're 10 behind second place Ipswich, and I know, David, you think they are excellent sides.
They are. Two. Yeah, I think they're going to be. Tough to haul back in.
Strong header by Sibley up towards halfway. He's playing slightly out of position at left wing back tonight. It is a 5-3-2 really, with McGoldrick just off Collins. Ball played over halfway by Portsmouth. There's an almighty scrap in midfield there, including Colby Bishop, who's having to come deep just to get involved at the moment. Bit of space here for Derby on the left-hand side. It's played low towards McGoldrick. He has to come away from the area under pressure, and Portsmouth did pretty well there. It's going to be a throw to Derby, level with the edge of the penalty area on the near side, the left. As we look at it, Sibley will take. Cool, crisp evening in November. Live EFL commentary here on Talksport 2. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Derby have come the closest to scoring so far. McGoldrick with a volley from the edge of the area that crashed against the crossbar.
Well, Cashin really aggressive up on Colby Bishop. Every time that ball goes into Bishop's feet, you know, he's aggressive, trying to win the first one, and he's done it well there. Just keeps Derby on the front foot. They've started very aggressively, you've got to say, Derby.
Rooney spreads the play to the right-hand side for Corey Smith, winds up the cross, that's volleyed away by Ogilvie. And it'll be collected by Forsyth in his own half. Player that has been really talked up by Paul Warne, the Rams boss, recently for his form. Says that he's really convinced him in recent games that he should have a regular first-team spot. Had been a regular substitute. I've started as many games as he's been a sub in the league so far this season. Here's Sibley under pressure from Mingy. There's plenty of effort going in midfield. It's intense so far.
It is, yeah. It is an intense game, you're right. Terrific tempo. Both teams, you know, aggressive on the front foot, as you'd expect.
17th minute, Portsmouth 0, Derby 0, and that's given away really cheaply by Cashin in his own half, but he got away with it. Portsmouth couldn't take advantage there. Again, Bishop having to come deep to try and get involved, and again he can't quite manage it as Collins spreads the play delightfully, balloons that ball out to the right-hand side for Corey Smith, onto the chest of Liam Thompson. Plenty of young players in this Derby side. Of course, they have to start virtually from scratch in terms of their squad because of their financial issues. Of course, have been now solved. Liam Rossini has started the season as coach and wanted to take them forwards, but Paul Warne given the opportunity, having had so much success at this level with Rotherham, getting them promoted 3 times. And that was a pragmatic decision, a hard-headed one, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at Cashin there, very easy wins there again. You know, the left centre back. He's got a lovely left foot on him as well. Not afraid to put the ball in the channel because he's got Sibley as that left wing back. Portsmouth Swanson wants to go aggressive on Sibley. Once he comes out of his slot, that's a little bit of space into the channel for the likes of McGoldrick, and Cashin's got the ability to put a pass in there and push Pompey back.
Good link-up play by Collins, looking for Corey Smith, and a brilliant challenge from Mingy, who's been here, there and everywhere as the only change to the team that played against Morecambe. Jay Mingy coming into midfield. That was a fine challenge behind for a corner to Derby. It is 0-0 between Portsmouth and Derby, locked together on points, both on 28 at the moment in League One. Portsmouth on 5th, Derby is 6th, but Derby have played a game more. It'll be a corner from the right-hand side. It's played short to Sibley, back out to the touchline, whipped in left-footed, and that's comfortable for Josh Griffiths, who was man of the match against Morecambe last time out. And he bowls the ball out to the left-hand side, and Ogilvie always looking to get forward from that left-hand side. Infield to number 25, Jay Mingy. A little drop of the shoulder, but then he's crunched fairly in midfield by Collins working back there. Now Dale, the winger, moving through the centre and out to Corona on the left-hand side. Right-footed ball into the penalty area. That's a fine header away by Cashin, who's had a great start to the game, but now it's back out to the left-hand side, and the flag is up, offside against Portsmouth, and that'll be a free kick with 19 minutes gone. It is Portsmouth 0, Derby.
Yeah, I mean, that attack comes from Derby, just trying to change the angle with the corner. You know, they work it short, but you've got to be careful with this delivery, because Griffiths is pretty big, you know, he's giant, and anything that's hung up, he's sort of coming clean pretty cleanly. And he's got big kind of gloves to fill, right? Gavin Bazunu was here last season, did brilliantly.
Terrific.
Yeah, so, as you say, I think Griffiths had a good game last week, but you know, he's, as I said, Bazunu was something else here.
And has ended up in the Premier League with Southampton. It's Derby's away form that's let them down this season, really. They've only won 3 of their 9 away games in the league, although all of those victories have come in the last 5 attempts. The Paul Vaughan factor. He talks about how he wants it to be a cohesive unit. Wants players to enjoy coming into training. Of course, all managers want players to enjoy training, or maybe they don't. Maybe you played under some that were a bit more hard-headed than that.
Well, it helps when you're winning, getting results, that's for sure, and you have the buy-in.
Here's Max Bird, plays it forward to McGoldrick, little wall pass to Sibley, tight to the left touch line. And here is Max Bird again, just 22, a Derby youth product, born just down the road from Derby in Burton. Flick on from McGoldrick, he was looking for the run, the flag's up anyway. It was Harahan making the run from midfield. That's important, isn't it, David? They've got to have runners from midfield to try and help out that front two. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they've got at times 3 in there, so, you know, Conor Horan's got licence to get forward. Obviously, he can score. We know that down the years. He splits the 2 forwards, you know, especially when they pull off one of them on the diagonal. Another one of those midfielders has got to make the box.
21 minutes gone. It is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Live EFL football on Talksport 2. The ball is pumped long down the centre by Portsmouth. It's bouncing around, and the decision goes Derby's way for the foul in midfield. Again, it was Colby Bishop trying to get involved. He's in good form right now, the number 9 for Portsmouth. 3 goals in his last 4 games in all competitions, but he's barely had a sniff so far.
Yeah, they've just been very aggressive at the back, Derby. No, I think both defences know that they're up against, you know, 2 pairings that are excellent, you know, and on their day are very, very, very dangerous. So that's why they're being aggressive with them. Look, there's Collins winning the leap again.
Excellent flick on towards McGoldrick on the edge of the area. Good cover by Raggett, though, to win that ball and play it out to the left-hand side. Now he gets it back and smacks it downfield. Left-footed Rooney straight away again on Bishop. Exactly what David Connolly was just talking about, that aggression. Yeah, cannot breathe at the moment.
Yeah, just trying to win that first ball up, because it's so important to certainly how Derby play, winning that first one up if you can when they aim towards Collins. But same for Portsmouth. Here it is on Bishop. They win that first one.
Trying to get it through to Scarlett, who is quick, and Forsyth tried to let that run, and it was nearly a bad decision. Scarlett's trying to dispossess him, and Forsyth in the end, with a rather panicky clearance. Corey Smith is charged down on that side, and Portsmouth have won it back here with Bishop. Works it in field towards Dale. Good first touch from him. The ball had reared up at him in a difficult manner. Here's Ogilvie. Left-footed ball in, and it was just over Scarlett. Cleared, not very far. Mingy on the edge of the box. Referee has a look and does give a free kick right on the edge of the area there, and that was desperately close to a penalty, but it will be a free kick in the dig.
Yeah, and this all comes from Ogilvie. Just half a yard, he just puts the ball in the box and makes Derby defend. They don't clear their lines, bounces on the edge of the box. Mingy takes one touch, just about to get a shot off, and he's taken out right in the D. So this is 19 yards out.
Portsmouth fans have just upped the noise levels in anticipation here.
It's just left of centre, isn't it? So you'd imagine it's sort of perfect for a right footer from here. I mean, it's close to being bang in the middle, but it's slightly left of centre.
Swanson just came across and said, I want to take it, and he was swiftly disabused of that notion, and he's had to move away. It's right on the edge of the area. Dane Scarlett has put this with purpose. It's one that has to be flipped over the top of the wall. You'd think so close in, but there are 3 Portsmouth players over the top of this, and Joe Wildsmith in the Derby goal just organising a very, very big wall. Not sure how much he can see here. Scarlett looks as though he's the one who really fancies it.
It's a 8-man wall by looks of it, close to it.
And the goalkeeper looks very nervous at the moment, I have to say. Marlon Pack is there. He could take it, but Scarlett is the one that really placed this with purpose. It is a massive wall. Here it comes, right-footed, and it was low, and it actually hit the wall. He was trying to make the most of the fact that the wall jumped, but it didn't jump enough, and in the end, that was a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, it was. I mean, maybe, look, Ben Scarlett would love to grab a goal, so it's a shooting situation, isn't it, from pretty close in, but wasn't a clean contact. Couple of bobbles, didn't it, as it made its way towards goal.
It's difficult to score with that kind of effort from that kind of range, isn't it? He didn't really catch hold of it in the way that he would have wished, and the wall did its job. But it's a throw to Portsmouth, though. It's taken quickly to find Mingy, who tries to make a bit of space on the left, gets a low ball in. It's pinball in the area, but Derby are able to clear, and Portsmouth are building some momentum here. Swanson shifts the ball out to the right-hand side for the number 15, Dale, who has got a turn of pace, and he's away from Sibley, and the cross towards the far post. Ogilvy's header, and it just ripples the roof of the net, and Portsmouth close to the opener, but Derby survive. It was an excellent cross by Dale to the far post. Ogilvy, the left back, coming in, and his header just a smidge too high.
Well, I mean, Dale did brilliantly. That turn of pace, as you said, got past Lewis Sibley to the byline. Brilliant ball in. You know, some of the deliveries have been excellent so far. Just Ogilvy's got to get his head over the ball. You know, I thought that was a pretty simple header. Hit it back towards goal. Just keep it under the bar. I mean, I think that's a disappointing finish.
Looking towards the 26-minute mark at Fratton Park. It's Portsmouth 0, Derby 0, but both teams have gone close. It's been an excellent start to the game as Harahan just overruns it on the Derby left, and the ball goes out for a throw to Portsmouth. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. You're listening to live EFL commentary, and we do have a live game in the Papa John's Trophy for you on Tuesday. Portsmouth again as they visit Ipswich, 2 of the best teams that League One has to offer. And we'll have every kick right here on Talksport 2 for you. Forward by Cashin down the inside left channel, chested down by Collins. That was excellent centre forward play. Now McGoldrick surrounded by 3 Portsmouth players, and he did his level best, and in the end they've won the free kick because Sibley was just caught there, and it's going to be a free kick to Derby around about 10 yards inside the Portsmouth half on the near side there left.
Well, it looked like Marlon Pack was a little bit late maybe. Fantastic footwork again from Dave McGoldrick. I mean, he's got 3 or 4 Portsmouth players in and around him, and he just has a lovely little bit of skill to get out of trouble and try to find a teammate. It's a poor challenge again.
Paul Warne, the Derby boss, has said that he likes it when McGoldrick keeps the game simple, doesn't like all the flicky, tricky stuff, but certainly has its place, the flicky, tricky stuff.
Well, certainly if you can do it, and he can.
Here comes the free kick from Harahan. It's whipped in towards the penalty spot. Lovely ball, but a great header away by Marlon Pack. That was excellent defensive work from him. And now Dale surging away from the challenge, and he plays it to Mingy down the inside right channel. It's a surging run from him, but he tried to find Scarlett. It was a low ball. Karoma was on that left-hand side, and the ball didn't reach either of them.
That was a shame. It was a really good break. Owen Dale finding Mingy, and he just tried to use his left foot there, Mingy, when if he used his right, he would have kept the ball away from the Derby defender.
There's Pack out to Ogilvy, tight to the left touchline for Portsmouth. Here is Raggett now, just to the left of the centre circle. It goes back out to Pack in midfield to Mingy. He's been excellent for Portsmouth so far.
He's been very busy, hasn't he?
Just 22, a former Charlton player. It's lofted long towards Karoma inside left channel. He's tried to keep that in. He's done a good job of trying to keep the pressure on, but the ball just creeps over the line, and that's going to be a goal kick to Derby. Portsmouth, you'd say, on the balance of play, slightly the better team. Derby hit the crossbar, but Portsmouth carried more of a consistent threat for you.
Well, maybe I'm just looking down at the benches here, because look, you've got you've got the Derby bench coming over, encroaching on the post. Something's going on there. I think it's a couple of the earlier challenges, and I don't think they're happy. Whatever's going on between the two coaching staff.
It's going to be a throw into Derby on that right-hand side. 29th minute of play. It is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Live League One commentary here on Talksport 2. And it'll be Corey Smith to take the throw. Bells it infield to Bird. Back out to Smith. Now here is the number 8, Max Bird. Surging infield onto his left foot. Finds Harahan. Unleashes from range. It was really travelling, but it was blocked by Raggett. And now Portsmouth can bring it away with Pack. He's under pressure. He's got to play his way through the press here. Knocks it back to Raggett. Really good work from Collins, leading that press yet again. But Portsmouth have worked it really well out to the far side, the left, and they pump it long. And Jake Rooney, the 19-year-old cousin of the former Derby boss Wayne Rooney, heads that out of play on the far side.
Well, I also wonder, looks like one of the members of staff, Portsmouth member of staff, is going round to the opposite side with some towels. But I think that's to dry the ball when they get these throws. We saw Marlon Pack using his shirt a moment ago when really they want the towels out there.
Here's Dale, nice little step over, gets past one challenge, works it infield to Pack. Pack now faced by McGoldrick, inside right channel, goes back to Raggett. Raggett now into the centre circle. As Portsmouth builds patiently. Derby waiting to spring that press. It's out to Swanson on the right-hand side. There's really good pressure from Bird on Pack. Derby so effective in their work without the ball. Ball swept towards Miggy, that's a loose first touch from him, but he gets away with it as Pack comes and helps him out. Here now is Clark Robertson. Lovely ball over the top to Dale. First touch is gorgeous. Dale fires it across. It's touched away by the goalkeeper, and he just went away from Colby Bishop, but he has won it back. Now Pack, 30 yards out, dead centre. Out to Swanson. Lifts it to the far post. Headed up, but not really away. Derby under pressure, and then Collins with an excellent clearance. And the free kick goes Derby's way. But that, yet again, was fantastic work from Owen Dale.
Yeah, I mean, he's been outstanding. He did brilliantly. Lovely diagonal. He's got to keep feeding him the ball. It's a sort of really difficult take this on the diagonal, taking it just as the ball bounces on the ground. Hard volley, terrific first touch. Takes him into the box, Owen Dale. You think, right, bit of composure here. Can you pick someone out? To be honest, he doesn't. He flashes it across the box. Wildsmith gets a hand to it, the goalkeeper, and it just evades Colby Bishop. It was unlucky. I mean, you might say for Portsmouth, could they have an attacking midfielder breaking into the box in that sort of area, maybe to pick up the second ball, but a little bit slow.
Ran them.
Yeah, well, he did, yeah. He is a quick boy, that's for sure.
He's been one of Portsmouth's bright sparks so far. He's on loan from Blackpool. Hasn't been a regular scorer. His last goal was against Bristol Rovers back in August. He's gone 14 games without scoring. As the ball is flicked on by Bishop out towards that left-hand side, took a flick off the defender, so it will be a Portsmouth throw on the far side, the left, level with the edge of the penalty area, taken quickly by Ogilvie. And now here is Pack, works it out to the left touchline for Ogilvie again. Derby relentless, out of possession, closing Portsmouth down, given away by Raggett in the Derby half.
I tell you what, I've done that a few times, Kevin. They've locked Portsmouth in down, locked them in down one side, and Portsmouth found it really hard to get out, and then they've turned over possession. Really good.
Ball runs loose on the edge of the area here. Scarlett dancing away from a couple of challenges. Right foot shot, and that's blocked by Derby. It comes back out to Scarlett. Little slip from him as we welcome listeners on Talksport. It is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Swanson down the right-hand side here for Portsmouth, who've had some good spells in the game, but Derby come the closest to scoring. Ball whipped into the penalty area. It comes to Scarlett with the left foot shot. Got right underneath it from just inside the box. Clears the crossbar, and it remains 0-0. Derby's best effort so far, David McGoldrick with a right foot volley from the edge of the area that crashed against the crossbar and bounced to safety. And David Connolly, it's been a fascinating game so far.
Yeah, it has. Certainly a really good chance from McGoldrick when he hit the bar, but for Portsmouth, Owen Dale down this right-hand side has been outstanding. So quick, putting a couple of really good crosses. Dane Scarlett with a strike there. I mean, certainly the last 10 minutes or so have been good from Portsmouth, that's for sure.
Ball is hammered long by the Derby goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith. The header from Raggett is a strong one. Sibley can't quite bring the ball under his spell, and the impressive Mingy surges forward in midfield for Portsmouth. Pumped long by Ogilvie, down the centre, looking for Scarlett. Strong header though by Aaron Cashin. He's had a really good game so far at the heart of the Derby defence. Swanson's header forward into the centre circle. Bird with a strong challenge on Mingy, but Portsmouth have it. Scarlett chests it down, the on-loan Tottenham teenager, but he runs into Cashin. Derby so intense in their work without the ball, but here's Ogilvie, tight to the left touchline for Portsmouth, 10 yards inside the Derby half. Karoma, little surge away from Thompson's challenge, out to the left-hand side, and Ogilvie thinks about the left-footed cross, comes onto his right, curling ball into the box, headed away by Rooney, and now taken down by Collins, midway inside the Derby half. It's being played at an almighty tempo at Fratton Park, but the score sheet is still blank. Long ball by Bird towards McGoldrick, but that's too strong, and all the way through to Josh Griffiths. Long ball by Swanson, down the centre, headed away by Cashin, and in the 35th minute it's Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Ball out now to Harahan on the left touchline, the number 4 for Derby. Experienced player, now Bird, 35 yards out, just to the left of centre. Back to Rooney now, rolls it out to Corey Smith. Signed from Swansea, right-footed ball in, that's headed away strongly by Clark Robertson. Bird picks it up in midfield though, the number 8 for Derby. Onto his left foot, low ball to McGoldrick, space to shoot, elects not to, onto his left foot, charge down, out to Harahan, onto his right foot. Low ball in towards the box, and then a rather awkward clearance by Robertson. That goes behind for a corner. Yeah,
it was a lucky, good play from Derby. You know, a couple of times they looked just to play the ball in the box, and instead it was a little clever pass that time to McGoldrick on the edge of the area. His shot was blocked. We circled it back to Conacher, and he tried to pick out James Collins on the diagonal, but in the end it was a bad cross in. It was cleared out for a corner.
So corner on this near side, the left as we look at it. Harahan will take it. It'll be left-footed, it'll be an outswinger. It's got Forsyth on the far post. McGoldrick right in front of the goalkeeper. Play towards that far post, heading down. Flicked on by Forsyth. It's in the 6-yard box, but headed away by Portsmouth. Not the best of clearances by Karoma, but Derby have to start again with Smith in the centre circle. Here he is again, the number 12. That it goes to Forsyth, just inside Portsmouth territory. Winds up a long left-footed ball into the box. Ogilvie didn't jump for it actually, just held his ground. Rooney couldn't get there and the ball sails out of play. For a goal kick, 36 on the watch at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. You're listening to live EFL commentary on Talksport 2. England begin their World Cup campaign on Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll bring you that one live on Talksport. All of the World Cup action coming your way across the Talksport network over the next few weeks in Qatar, including the opening game of the tournament, which is on Sunday at 4 o'clock. We'll have that one too. Qatar against Ecuador.
Well, Portsmouth just set up to play out, and not once have they done so. You know, Griffiths just urges the defence, no, up you go, squeeze up the pitch and then play long. I don't know why they set up as if they are going to play out, because they never do, but maybe it's just, I don't know, to lengthen the pitch a little bit. But
if it's disguised, it's not working.
No.
Whipped out towards Ogilvie on that left-hand side, lets it bounce, and regretted doing that because the ball's gone out for a throw. Conor Ogilvie, a former Tottenham youth who was signed from Gillingham, made a really good start to life at Portsmouth. Got 3 goals in his first 5 appearances. No goals since this season. And Derby with this throw on the far side to right. They work it back into their own half for Forsyth. And now Cashin, it's a big part of their build-up play. Confident in possession, the 21-year-old. Nice little drop of the shoulder from Sibley, but he was quickly closed down there by a mixture of Dale and Swanson. Full-back and winger working very well in concert there. And that's going to be a throw to Derby midway inside the Portsmouth half on the near side, the left, and Cashin again to hurl that one long.
Yeah, I tell you what, Sibley and Owen Dale are having a good battle, aren't they, down this side in front of us. Dale, the right winger, who's pretty quick. You know, a couple of times he got to the byline, and Louis Sibley's sort of powerful runner, isn't he? Those two are having a great battle.
Here is Dale moving infield, and he was caught there by Sibley, but the referee tries to let advantage go, and it's going to be a yellow card here. Yep. Referee Ben Speedy just calling Sibley to him, And that's going to be the first yellow card for a Derby player. It's one apiece now, Sibley and Clark Robertson, both in the referee's notebook.
And Danny Cowley just pointed at Owen Dow, and I'm sure he's saying, right, from now on, you take that boy on every time he's been booked. No need really for Sibley to make that challenge, because Owen Dow is going nowhere. But that's exactly what you want, right? You want your wing back, or if you're up against the full back, he's booked now, get at him. And that is exactly what Danny Cowley is saying to him.
I don't think Dale needs asking twice, to be honest. He's been quite happy to run at him already, but
I tell you what, Danny Cowley should be telling his teammates, get the ball to Owen Dow, because every time he has, he's done really, really well, and especially now Sibley's on a booking.
What he has shown a couple of times is he can beat him for pace. Here's McGoldrick, just to the right of the centre circle, works it to his nominal strike partner Collins, who tries to use his strength to hold off Dale and wins the free kick. Dale a little overzealous there. He's trying to argue with a wardrobe there. He's so strong, Collins. Great hold-up play from him, and it's going to be a free kick to Harraham. Around about 7 or 8 yards inside the Portsmouth half, the inside left channel. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. These two locked together on points in the table and nothing to separate them so far. Harraham with his hands on his hips, ready to deliver this ball. He's played in some really good crosses so far. This one he chips like a golf shot to the edge of the area, headed back across goal by Cashin, but that's volleyed clear by Portsmouth. Swanson with the clearance. Smith comes to win the header for Derby. The ball bouncing around on the edge of the area, and good goalkeeping by Griffiths. Proactive, came to the edge of his box and grasped the ball. Into the final 5 minutes of normal time in the first half. Still a blank score sheet here on Talksport 2. There's Corona working the left touchline. Plays it infield to Bishop, who hasn't had a chance worthy of the name yet. Pack now. Plays it back to Corona. This is patient build-up from Pompey as they switch it from left to right, or try to, headed away by Sibley. Harraham went down there and does get the decision, and it wasn't really anywhere near the ball, but it is a free kick to Derby.
Well, I think Mingy just gave me a little push in the back, and Conor Hourihane, he was coming through when I was at Sunderland. He was in the youth team, Conor was, and that youth team had him, Jordan Henderson, Jack Colback, Trevor Carson. I mean, there's about, I've lost count of many players who had a pro career out of that Sunderland youth team, with Kevin Ball was the youth team manager. Absolutely outstanding.
Whatever happened to that Henderson guy?
Yeah, he did alright, didn't he?
In the end? Just a few trophies here and there. Pump long by Wildsmith out towards the edge of the Portsmouth area. It was Swanson's header, and they work it to the left here. Derby. Harraham with the early cross, and it's knocked down here for Collins, and a brilliant block there from Corona, who'd come tracking back, and just as well for Portsmouth he did. That was a vital foot in just inside the penalty area, as Collins was about to pull the trigger and found the barrel of the gun was spiked. Here come the Rams now. Ball just shy of the centre circle with Rooney, and now Forsyth will roll it to his left for Cashin. Cashin forward, left-footed. That's one for the goalkeeper. He claims it very confidently indeed.
He's done well, hasn't he, under the high ball. Cashin, I'm sure will learn, as has happened with a couple of deliveries, even from corners and things. Anything hung up to Griffiths, he's going to come and claim it, which is exactly what you want from your goalkeeper.
This was a Premier League clash as recently as January 2008. 1-3-1 by Portsmouth. Derby went on to be relegated that season. Portsmouth were a Premier League team just 12 years ago. Neat work from Sibley. They work it into the Portsmouth half with McGoldrick. Again, that brilliant hold-up play from him. He's so skillful. He's just held off 2 players there and kept possession for his team. And then, just to add to it, a lovely ball drifted out to the right-hand side. He's had some really nice moments, David McGoldrick, so far. 34 years young. Here is Cashin just on the left-hand side for Derby. A couple of minutes to go to the end of normal time at the end of this half. And it is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0, but a good game so far. Corey Smith down the right for Derby. Collins goes down, and the linesman flags on the far side, and that'll be a free kick to Derby on the far side, the right, as we look at it.
I think Conor Ogilvie might have just clipped Collins' heels there as he went down.
I mentioned Portsmouth finding goals hard to come by recently. Derby have only managed 23 in the league so far. That's the worst attacking record in the top 6.
I'll tell you what, they struggled with goals last season as well. I think they had the third lowest scores, something like that. I'm sure it was.
We'll have an opportunity to apply pressure here with this free kick, which Arahan will take. Plenty of white shirts to aim for. It's got Collins just pulling up his socks around about the penalty spot. Forsyth and Cashin just on the edge of the penalty area, ready to charge forwards. Rooney's there as well. So Derby are committing men to this late in this first half. And it's Harahan's ball in. Goalkeeper didn't get there, and it's somehow guided wide from a yard out by Forsyth. It came at him awfully quickly, and he just couldn't sort his feet out. And Derby County very, very close to getting the opening goal there.
Yeah, brilliant ball in from Hurahan. A much lower trajectory with more pace as well, and that was an issue for Griffiths. The previous balls that have been put in the box have kind of been hung up, and for someone, to come and climb and get a head on it, that one was really whipped in, and Griffiths struggled under that, completely missed his punch, and Forsyth at the back post, it was a yard out, just couldn't quite steer it towards goal.
Just couldn't react in time. As Bishop flicks on for Portsmouth, but Derby giving the free kick, and Bishop just trying to block that one early. He's lucky he hasn't played his way into a yellow card there. There was no need for him to get involved in that attempt by Derby to take a quick free kick. Just a warning from Ben Speedy, our referee, but nothing more than that. It's what you don't want to see as a manager, isn't it? Picking up a stupid yellow card. Yeah. He's got away with it there. Opportunity here again for Wildsmith to go long, and that's exactly what he does, looking for Collins. He's up against Raggett, and Raggett goes down, and that's going to be a free kick to Portsmouth. A few jeers, perhaps ironic, from some of the Portsmouth fans, and it will be a free kick to the hosts. And it remains a blank score sheet, but it has been an intriguing half, and just the one additional minute here on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. And we've been treated to an entertaining game so far, with some really bright moments. Derby have come the closest. Portsmouth have had some good spells and good areas. As the ball is flicked on by Bishop down that left-hand side for Portsmouth, the far side as we look at it. Roma away from one challenge, but not the seconds. That was really hard work by Liam Thompson in midfield, and he goes down, and that's another Derby free kick, and it has got a little bit scrappier in the last few minutes.
Just had a little replay of that chance for Forsyth at the back post. He just couldn't quite sort his feet out, but he was only a yard out, and probably the best chance of the game. If that fell to maybe a forward or someone of note in terms of finding the back of the net, I'm sure that would have been a goal.
Well, in 277 appearances for Derby, he scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
And the whistle goes for half-time. It's been intense, it's been lively. Friday night under the lights, but no goals so far. David McGoldrick coming close for Derby with an instinctive right-footed volley from just outside the penalty area that crashed against the crossbar, with Josh Griffiths beaten. And then Craig Forsyth from close range couldn't turn a ball in after it fell to him from a ball whipped in from the right-hand side. The goalkeeper Griffiths had missed it entirely. Portsmouth have had some bright moments, David Connolly, but so far haven't really been able to have any sustained pressure on the Derby goal. So half-time here on Talksport 2. It is Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Thanks, Dan. No changes at the break, so let me go through these two teams for you very quickly. Griffiths in goal for Portsmouth, Swanson, Raggett, Robertson and Ogilvie at the back, Dale, Pack, Mingy and Karoma in midfield, Bishop and Scarlett up front. For Derby, it's Wildsmith in goal, a back five of Sibley, Forsyth, Cashin, Rooney and Smith, and then they've got Harahan, Bird and Thompson in midfield, with McGoldrick just off Collins in a front two. Derby attacking the goal away to our right in this second half. Portsmouth playing from right to left as we look at it. Portsmouth in their blue shirts, white shorts and red socks. Derby in their iconic white shirts with black shorts and black socks. Portsmouth finished 10th in League One last season. They started this season ever so well. 6 wins in the first 8 league games. Won just 1 of 8 since then in the league. And they haven't won here in League One since September the 3rd. Had a lot of draws of late. A good little surge down that right-hand side by the ever-impressive Dale. And he just puts a bit too much on it. But he has managed to win a corner on that far side. And Owen Dale, one of the outstanding players, Dave Connolly, in the first half. Good start to this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Superb surging run again. And you can tell those words from Danny Cowley, I'm sure they've been repeated in the half-time break. Every time, get at Louis Sibley. He's been booked. Take him on. It's exactly what he's done there. And he's won inside a corner.
So an opportunity here for Portsmouth to apply pressure. Robertson's gone across to whip it in left-footed. Lots of players at the far post to aim for here, but it's actually gone short to the near post, and then the return ball was really short from Koroma, and it's won by Derby, who are off to the races here with McGoldrick trying to slide it down that far side towards Thompson, but Portsmouth recovered well. I think if that came from the training grounds, they need to work on it a bit more.
Yeah, just left it short, the return pass, and obviously when you've got David McGoldrick there, he's sharp of mind as well, and still pretty fleet-footed. You know, he's showed a turn of pace again tonight. Maybe I've done him a disservice saying he maybe lost a yard or two, but
giving hope to us all, though.
I tell you, yeah.
Well, some of us.
Still looks pretty rapid out there.
Some of us weren't that quick to begin with. I'm not saying you, I'm saying me. Lack of fitness, you see.
Not with those sausage rolls that you keep having at half-time here.
And the crisps as well. Ball bounces all the way through to Griffiths, who strangely didn't have a huge amount to do for Portsmouth in that first half, but he was well beaten by the volley from McGoldrick that crashed against the crossbar, and there wasn't much he could do to prevent Forsyth scoring from close range, but he managed to miss after Griffiths had missed the ball into the box in the first place. Here's Ogilvie just shy of halfway for Portsmouth, groans as he gives the ball away. It was a mistake in terms of timing of the pass, really, more than anything. Lovely turn by Rooney there, playing it up towards halfway, and then an equally nifty turn by Thompson, who was caught there, and the referee gives the free kick Derby's way.
Well, that all starts with Koroma, who comes short. Conor Ogilvie's got his eyes looking at Koroma. He comes short. Ogilvie puts his eyes down at the ball because he thinks, right, okay, Koroma wants it to feet. Then, as soon as Ogilvie's eyes are down, Koroma spins in behind, and just a bit of miscommunication there. I think as soon as Koroma, like a teammate, got their eyes down looking at the ball, you've got to stay with your run. You just got to stay. If you come short, stay short.
League One action and the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. It's pumped long by Rooney, flicked on by Cashin. Sibley won't be able to collect that on the far side, the left. That'll be a throw to Portsmouth.
The aerial ball is so important, isn't it? You know, in League One, well, it's certainly been important tonight, hasn't it? So many diagonal balls gone in, whether it's from free kicks or crosses or whatever, corners.
Portsmouth have struggled to turn draws into wins here. Drawn the last 4 in the league here, and they've drawn 5 out of 8, won the other 3. As Derby play the ball into the penalty area, it's swept away by Robertson. But here come Derby again down that left-hand side. Sibley trying to work space for the cross, gets the ball in, Collins with the shot, that hit Raggett, and then looped up in the air, and Griffiths able to take it, and potentially a goal-saving challenge there from Sean Raggett.
Yeah, it was unlucky, difficult skill that, bouncing volley for Collins, worth a strike or worth a swing at it anyway.
Portsmouth fans trying to do their bit, trying to crank up the noise here at Fratton Park as Bishop tries to chest the ball on, but he's shoved to the ground there. That's going to be a free kick. Wasn't exactly the most subtle defending there from Derby, and that's going to be a free kick dead centre, probably too far out for a shot, but that was poor from Derby.
Well, ironic cheers there from the crowd, wasn't it, as if to indicate that they're maybe not getting enough decisions going their way. I don't know if that's Ronan Curtis getting changed for Portsmouth. Yeah, I think it is. So we'll be seeing him coming on soon.
Wonder if we might see him come on for Koroma, who's made a poor start actually to the second half. But they'll take this free kick first. Marlon Pack has his hands on his hips, signed from Cardiff, where he spent 6 years at Bristol City. And here it comes. He raises his left arm, flips the ball into the penalty area. Chested down here by Raggett, works it to Ogilvie. High hanging ball to the far post, and Dale just took his eye off that. I think he believed that Derby would clear it, but he has got it now just in field from the far touchline. Swanson's ball in is poor, topped it really It's floated back into the penalty area towards Ogilvie, who wins the header. Hooked away by McGoldrick, who was helping out back there. And good pressure here from Portsmouth, but Derby holding firm.
It was a great header back, wasn't it, from Ogilvie? Really deep diagonal ball, way past the back post, and Ogilvie done ever so well to head it back into a danger zone. Danny Cowley there just clapping the crowd. You know, he does often try to do that, doesn't he? Get the fans involved and get them on side. Wants to sort of stoke the atmosphere a little bit.
We've had 6.5 minutes of this second half at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0 on Talksport 2. Lots of big games coming your way on the Talksport network. WSL action on Saturday at 5:30 on TS2 between Arsenal and Manchester United. On Sunday we've got the World Cup opener on Talksport between the hosts Qatar and Ecuador. That one's at 4 o'clock. England begin their campaign on Monday against Iran. We've got that one for you on Talksport. That game kicks off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All of the top action from the World Cup coming your way on the Talksport network. Here's Ogilvie charging forward down the inside of left channel. Plays it to Karoma. Left edge of the penalty area. Onto his right foot. Goes for goal. And it was deflected. Headed back across goal rather than goalwards. And Derby nodded behind for a corner. And somehow Derby scrambled that to safety. It was a deflected shot. And it seems as though it might be there to head goalwards. But it was headed back across goal.
And they've got... It's like...
Whilst the goalkeeper's down in the net, really. It was an almighty scramble at the far post, wasn't it, after the initial shot was deflected up in the air.
Well, fingers crossed he's going to be okay, but he is receiving treatment in his goal. There's a wicked deflection from Karoma, ducking in field. I just wonder whether that's his last action of the game. Anyway, but...
It was a strange one, wasn't it? Because the initial shot, the deflection on it, was actually really awkward to deal with. And the heads went up, it was headed back across goal, and Derby able to deal with the danger. But good pressure from Portsmouth early in this second half. Portsmouth boss Danny Cowley came to prominence at Lincoln City. He took them from non-league into League One. Moved to Huddersfield, but lasted less than a season. Joined Portsmouth in March last year. Finished 10th last season, but it's an ambitious club that wants to win promotion to the Championship. They were a Premier League team just 12 years ago, but since they were relegated from the Championship in 2012, they've been outside the top two divisions, and across the last 5 seasons, they finished no higher than 4th. Made the playoffs twice, but went out in the semi-finals on both occasions. Wildsmith, I can tell you, is back on his feet. He's had a fair bit of treatment here for a good couple of minutes, but
is the ref making him stay off the pitch, or?
I wouldn't have thought so at a corner. You'd think the Derby would complain about that quite significantly.
Well, I thought for a stage there it's going to be on the pitch.
I think that would be a little unfair not to have a goalkeeper. But here it comes from Robertson. It's low and flicked up in the air and over by Colby Bishop. It came at him awfully quickly, and it bounced just in front of him. He did his best to guide that ball goalwards, but it was no problem for Derby in the end.
You can tell my faith in referees.
Yeah, I think that would be stretching it just a bit to say to Derby, no, you don't need a goalkeeper for this corner, you'll be fine. So we've had nearly 10 minutes of this second half. League One action on the home of the EFL Talksport 2. It's Portsmouth 0, Derby 0, but Portsmouth applying good pressure since half-time. These two locked together on points. Long ball almost through to McGoldrick, and the goalkeeper, Josh Griffiths, delighted to see that carry to him off the surface. McGoldrick thought he was in there. Would have been the most Route 1 of Route 1 goals. Headed away here by Forsyth, who had one of Derby's best chances in the first half. Comes now for Robertson, who started Aberdeen. Clark Robertson was a Scottish youth international, now 29. And it's with the goalkeeper Griffiths in a day-glow green goalkeeping kit. Now it's flicked on towards Karoma. Down the left-hand side for Portsmouth, tangling with Corey Smith. And he gets the free kick. Smith just dragged his arm back there Again, unsubtle defending from Derby, and again, they concede a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to these aerial, the importance of winning the aerial battles. It's a long kick from the goalkeeper, and there's Colby Bishop wins the flick on. It just pushes Derby back. Roma wins a free kick, past the penalty box, and in a dangerous position. All starts with winning that first flick on. And Corona's had maybe he's turned and looked at the bench, saw Ronan Curtis get changed, and he's stopped up his game a little bit.
Yeah, they haven't made that change yet. That was on the cards quite some time ago. And Corona ready to take this free kick, although Marlon Pack's come across to him and is perhaps suggesting that he should take it, and in fact he's just nudged him away and said, I'll take this one. And he's got plenty to aim for at that far post. Again, they haven't really got anybody near post. They played it short. Pack with the ball towards the far post. Goalkeeper comes and fists that away strongly. That was excellent from Joe Wildsmith. He was signed from Sheffield Wednesday, his boyhood club. And that's a good early sign that he's okay after that hefty collision a few minutes ago. The Towels have made it to that far side.
There you go.
Mentioned in the first half, Dave Connolly spotted that one a while ago. They were moving the Towels out to the far side, and Portsmouth able to dry the ball here and take this long throw towards the near post.
Oh my goodness.
And the goalkeeper comes and catches it first time, and that was a long throw.
Distance on that from Marlon Pack. I mean, you can see the importance of the towel now.
So you were right all along.
Well, he made the near post there.
You were a striker. How many long throws did you take?
Well, none, but
he's got a specialist subject. Next time he's on Mastermind, David Connolly. Here is McGoldrick on that left-hand side. Again, good hold-up play.
That was Rory Delap. Distance, that was.
Yes.
I mean, that was excellent from Pack.
Here is Rooney now. Moving over halfway. Slides it to the right-hand side, and Smith. He's got space for the cross, as you know. Coroma did really well to make up the ground there. And Corey Smith perhaps took a little too long to release that ball. He gets the throw, but nothing more than that. Derby relegated from the Championship last season, largely thanks to a 12-point deduction that applied because the club went into administration. Here's Thompson working in tight space down at the corner flag, but Portsmouth clear up towards halfway. Header from Forsyth, it'll drop for Smith. Heads it infield. Collins takes it on his chest. Back out to Smith. On the near side, the right as we look at it, forward to Thompson. His first time cross hits Ogilvie and goes behind for a corner in front of those travelling Derby fans. And it's going to be an opportunity for the East Midlands club to apply pressure in the 14th minute of this second half at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0.
Well, they haven't had much to cheer about, have they, in the second half, these Derby fans? This is the first real sort of attack of any note they've had. Sustained pressure on Portsmouth, kicking towards them.
Howrahan's take, raises his right arm, swings it in towards the near post. It is only half cleared. The shot from the edge of the area, brilliantly blocked by Mingy. What a block that was. Had so much ground to cover, and he gets the congratulations of his teammates, and he goes out for a corner on the far side of the left.
Yeah, you're right. Brilliant block from Mingy. That ball not cleared to the edge of the box, so you would say he had to go to it. If he didn't make a sliding challenge there, he wasn't going to get there. Had to use the conditions. Superb.
Howrahan will take it. It'll be an outswinger, left-footed from the former Aston Villa player. Takes it short though to McGoldrick, who's had to come out of the box and slides in towards Sibley. Sibley with the shot, good save, stab towards goal, cleared off the line and then headed back over his own bar by Pack onto the roof of the net. And that was immense pressure being applied, and they just about got out of that, Portsmouth. The initial shot by Sibley, very well saved from close range, and then the follow-up effort cleared off the line.
Clever corner, really, really clever. Take it short to McGoldrick, and normally he would maybe backheel this, but instead he threads a lovely reverse pass into Sibley inside the box, and it was excellent. Lovely little low strike, well saved from the goalkeeper.
This time they play it high. It's a hanging ball. Goalkeeper fists it away, clears the box. Good work there from Griffiths. And we've had an hour at Fratton Park in League One here on Talksport 2. A blank score sheet still between Portsmouth and Derby. Two excellent defensive teams who are struggling to find the opener here on the south coast. But it's been captivating stuff. Throw into Portsmouth, around about 5 yards inside the Derby half. In fact, you look at Derby's record defensively away from home, only conceded multiple goals in one of the last 9 away games, and that was in September. Here comes that change we talked about quite some time ago now. It is going to be Ronan Curtis who will come on, former Derry City player, and he'll replace Josh Karoma. Well, scoring plenty of goals in the Cups, David, just the one in the league.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have monitors here, do we? So, but I've got a little screen here looking at the replay of that strike from Liam Thompson, and it looked like he might have struck the hand of Jay Mingy as he made that diving lunge. It was a brilliant block, but it might just come off his hand. I think if that was a Premier League, it'd be given probably as a penalty.
Here's Curtis down the left-hand side, approaching the penalty area onto his right foot, rolls it square for Swanson, former Arsenal player. He shuffles it down that right-hand side for the excellent Dale. Dale plays it in left-footed, and that's thumped away by Cashin. No messing around there. And it's brought down really well in the centre circle by Robertson for Portsmouth. Here's Ogilvie now. Inside left channel, works it to the left touchline, and Curtis running at them. Cross is deflected to the edge of the penalty area. Thompson tidies up well. It's good work from him. It's played up towards Collins, who's 10 yards inside his own half and was immediately swarmed there by Portsmouth players, but he has won a throw for Derby County. He is so strong, isn't he, James Collins?
He is. Yeah, I think Collins and Colby Bishop for Portsmouth, they do use their physical presence really well. I think Collins is a class apart with the ball in the air.
0-0, but it's certainly not been a dull game as Wildsmith's ball towards Cashin is wayward, and it goes out for a throw, and it's taken quickly, and the referee has the yellow card out here. Portsmouth wanted to take that quickly.
Cashin he's trying to prevent Portsmouth, getting the ball and throwing it back in play early, so he just keeps hold of it for a little bit too long.
Well, he was put into trouble in the first place by Wildsmith. There was a miscommunication between them, and Cashin had to take one for the team there. Portsmouth fans in full voice. Can they help their side to a breakthrough? It's going to be another long throw. The ball is being assiduously dried over on that far side as we look at it, the Portsmouth right. And as we've seen, this can be as good as a free kick or a corner. Here it comes. It's high and long towards the near post, and Raggett, but headed away from him. Chipped back into the penalty area. Headed by Curtis is a good one, but that's cleared by Derby, and now Smith in his own right-back zone just plays it to Thompson, little 1-2. Derby trying to play calmly out from the back, and then they go long. They did the first bit right, but then just seemed to panic really, and that was nowhere near either with the front two. And Portsmouth had it back with Robertson.
Well, he didn't quite get the same distance, did he there, Marlon Pack, on that throw. Maybe he needs to spend a little bit more time drawing that ball.
Got another live Portsmouth game for you on Tuesday as they go to Ipswich in the Papa John's Trophy. Have that live for you on Talksport 2. Bit of space here for Scarlett. Down the inside left channel for Portsmouth. Approaching the box. He's in the box now. Tried to just cut the ball back. It's laid off to Ogilvie. Now a bit of space for Curtis. Early ball into the box. Headed away really well by Forsyth. He was under pressure. And now they pump it long towards Collins. It's a rather forlorn chase for him. Raggett should get there and does, and passes it back to his goalkeeper, who controls well. That was good play all round actually. Raggett with the defending, and then Griffiths with sound footballing skills. And here's Mingy now in the centre circle for Portsmouth. He's had a bright, enterprising game, Jay Mingy, 22-year-olds. Here's Ogilvie's cross just behind the two strikers, and easily cleared by Derby, but then lost in midfield. Mingy, and goes down, and that's going to be a free kick. The referee was on the scene there. It looks as though he tripped him initially, but it's going to be a free kick to Portsmouth. Derby suggesting there wasn't a huge amount of contact there, but Hallahan has his claims waved away, and it will be a free kick to Portsmouth. With 20 minutes gone in this second half at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0.
Well, they've certainly had the better of this second half so far, haven't they, Portsmouth? That's for sure.
It'll be their centre-back Clark Robertson to take it. Left-footed. What could he come up with here? too far out for a shot, you'd think. It's probably 35 yards out, and he just clips it like a golf shot into the penalty area. Goalkeeper came and dropped it initially, and then gets it second time around, and does that thing goalkeepers like to do when they want to release the pressure, just falls down for no reason.
Well, he came a long way there, Wildsmith. Had to make sure he judged that one right, and he just about did. What he hasn't judged right is a few times bowling the ball out. You know, he's given it to Cashin a few times under immense pressure, and he nearly lost it again there, Cashin, through no fault of his own.
So he needed a new challenge when he left Sheffield Wednesday. Said he'd been there since he was 12 years old, wanted to get out of his comfort zone. He's been very much the regular first choice. Bird has got into a challenge with Pack in midfield, and Portsmouth come out on top there, and here is Marlon Pack. Bearded midfielder slides it across the centre circle for Ogilvie. Ogilvie finds Curtis and continues his run outside Curtis, but Curtis ignores him there and instead goes back the other way, and then it's a bit of a sharp word there from Curtis for Ogilvie. Didn't like that overlapping run for whatever reason. Portsmouth now have it on the right hand side. It's Mingy, who has been a live wire in that midfield area for Pompey tonight. Ogilvie now, just shy of halfway, clips it over the halfway line. Nice touch from Bishop to find Curtis. He's into space, edge of the area. Curtis, it's a great run. And then he tried to lay it off for Scarlett, but he was so close to Scarlett that the young striker had no chance really of bringing that ball under his spell.
Well, but also I think Dane Scarlett just looks a little bit tired, a bit leggy, you know, the way he's moving, and sometimes his body head's down, and he's sort of struggling to get on the move again and find a new position, so just might need a bit of a change up top, I think. He couldn't quite sort his feet out there. I think that was not a bad layoff from Curtis. I understand he was a bit closer, but nonetheless.
Colby Bishop trying to bring the ball under his spell, the Portsmouth number 9. Can't quite do it under pressure. Curtis has certainly made a big difference since coming on that left-hand side. And he works it in field to Mingy, about 10 yards inside the Derby half. They keep it going to the right-hand side in Swanson. He can move into space. Now Dale. Hush of anticipation as he runs forward, but then loses it and then compounds the error by fouling his man on the edge of the Derby area, and that's going to be a free kick. 23 minutes gone in the second half at Fratton Park. You're listening to live League One football on Talksport 2, and it's Portsmouth 0, Derby 0.
Well, I just think Dale there just complicated things again. In the first half, he'd get half a yard, deliver it in the box, or get to the byline. There he tried, 3 step overs? You know, just wasn't needed, lost the ball, and you know, efficiency, just be efficient as a wide man. He had the space, defender backed off, just deliver in the box.
Listening to the former Portsmouth striker Dave Connolly there, as the ball is hit long by Wildsmith down the left hand side. It was towards Collins, who was wrestling there on that far side, and it went miles over his head anyway. And Portsmouth with the opportunity to start again. Derby have only conceded 16 goals in 17 games. It's one of the best defensive records in League One, and they have been tough to break down tonight. And that was strong defending there from Aaron Cashin. Well, just 21.
Yeah, I just think Dane Scarlett has just been dragged off the ball too easily. You know, it's a tired challenge from Scarlett.
We might get another chance here as it's played towards him. Gorgeous first touch from Scarlett. Edge of the area for Dale. He tried to return it to Scarlett and he got too much on it. And Wildsmith able to come out and slide and win that ball. Right idea, wrong execution.
Well, you can see Danny Cowley, look, he's clapping, you know, his body there, his positivity. He's trying to get the crowd going. He's trying to get his team going, you know. He thinks they're kind of close here to a goal. That's what he's thinking. He just wants the crowd to stay with him.
Have struggled with injury lately, but Cowley says it's not time to feel sorry for ourselves. It's not a time to make excuses. We have to find solutions. Said he wanted a performance tonight that the city of Portsmouth can be proud of. And certainly the effort's been there, but they haven't found the magic touch in front of goal yet. Remains 0-0. Curtis jabs it in field for Bishop, tried to backheel it, comes back to Bishop. Now Dale on the edge of the D, twisting and turning, left foot shot, that was blocked, comes back out to Dale, shifts it to his left, but was rather wayward and Curtis couldn't get there, and good work from Thompson, but he's under pressure here. Finds Rooney, first time clearance. Ogilvie heads it back towards the Derby penalty area, and that's cleared. And Portsmouth fans sensing that there's something building here. Ogilvie to take the throw, midway inside the Derby half. Just listen to this. Pompey fans doing their bit at Fratton Park. With Swanson, inside right channel, 25 yards out, forward to Scarlett, tries to return it to Swanson, and does. Swanson's low ball in, and that's cleared by Forsyth at the near post. Portsmouth really trying to turn the screw here. Derby can barely get out of their own half at the moment. And they have won themselves a free kick just to alleviate that pressure on the far side. 26 minutes gone in the second half at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0.
Yeah, and the Derby staff just having a little get-together down there, seeing what they can do to respond here, because they are under a bit of pressure. What I would say, as that ball comes in the box, there's only really 2 Portsmouth players in the box. Is that enough to go and get a goal? Not so sure.
Paul Warney, boss of Derby, said these are 2 big clubs with a lot of history, said this would be a good test. Described Portsmouth as being great on the ball. He knew this would be a tough place to come. Has turned out to be that. But it remains 0-0. McGoldrick's flick on looking for Collins, but even if Collins had managed to bring that under his spell, there was nobody anywhere near him. They have been a little isolated in this second half, those forwards.
Yeah, they have. You know, Portsmouth just pushed them back a little bit, and they started the second half really well, Portsmouth, and they continued that way.
Curtis now just shy of halfway. Portsmouth attack breaks down now. Here is Bishop, finds Mingy. Good footwork from him. And now it's with the number 7 Marlon Pack, who slips as he tries to hit the crossfield pass. He got away with that. He did surrender possession, but not in an area where it could do Pompey any damage. Now space for Rooney. 10 yards shy of halfway. Jake Rooney, cousin of the former Derby player and manager Wayne. And here's Corey Smith into the feet of McGoldrick, midway inside the Portsmouth half. Thompson works it back. Oh, that's given away really cheaply. Oh dear, that's an awful challenge from Thompson, determined to bring his man down, and the Portsmouth fans baying for a red card. That was a very poor challenge by Liam Thompson.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he tried to atone for his error, gave the ball away, and just trying to go and get it back. It was late on Dane Scarlett, who to me looks leggy. He looks like he needs to come off. He's got Joe Piggott, who could possibly come on. I'll be thinking about making a change. I feel up top. They need a new spark, Portsmouth, and it is a booking.
It's a yellow card. It's reckless but not dangerous in the eyes of the referee, Ben Speedy. I think you can certainly make a case for that. And as Dave Connolly says, he was trying to recover from the error that he had made. What it has done is given Portsmouth a free kick just inside the Derby half, being placed with great care by Clark Robertson, and he plays it short to Swanson. Winds up the right-footed ball into the penalty area. Initial header not won by Curtis. Ogilvie nods it back into the Derby box, but again they're able to clear. Corey Smith with a high hanging ball towards halfway. Robertson's header flicked on by Pack, and here he is again, Pack, and he chips it over the top looking for the run of Scarlett, but he was a little slow to get there. He's trying to prevent the ball going out for the goal kick, but he was actually trying to run through traffic to start with, and he just couldn't catch up with it.
It wasn't the best pass though, was it, from Marlon Pack, to be honest?
Goal kick in the end. He couldn't quite keep it in.
Well, Danny Cowley again on the sideline, just trying to keep the energy, using his arms. He's so animated on the sideline, isn't he?
Moving towards the final quarter of an hour on the home of the EFL. Talksport 2, Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Portsmouth the better team since half-time, but haven't been able to find a way to create clear-cut chances. And actually, Derby had one of the best opportunities of the half. Sibley's effort really well saved by Josh Griffiths, and then the follow-up cleared off the line. Here's Corey Smith, just shy of halfway. Slips as he hits the ball forwards. And it's going to be a throw to Portsmouth. Portsmouth haven't been able to make this pressure count, and that's been the issue recently. Too many draws.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaven-headed left back Conor Ogilvie ready to take this. Player who's been very active in terms of the attacking side of the game for Portsmouth tonight, and he's had one of the best chances, actually a header that landed on the roof of the net. But no goals so far on the south coast at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Forward by Thompson. towards McGoldrick. Youngster finding a veteran, and the number 10 turns infield into space, but then a poor ball from him, gifted to Dale, and Dale can move through the gears here and away from McGoldrick, who tried to hack him down. Then Dale tried to switch it to the left, and it was blocked. He was looking for the run of Curtis, and he was so quick there that McGoldrick couldn't bring him down.
That was a thought crime there from McGoldrick, wasn't it?
It's embarrassing enough to try to do it. To fail to do it's even worse. No harm done in the end. Here's Ogilvie, just shy of halfway. A couple of changes being prepared here, in fact 3. For Derby, it looks as if Stearman, Dobbin, they're both coming on. Fresh legs needed. I understand why Derby would start to tire. It's interesting, Paul Warne talked about tiredness and said the coaches are probably more tired than the players at the moment.
Well, they do put a lot of hours in, make no mistake, you know, it's unrelenting schedule.
Not sure the players would go along with it, but says they will be given a bit of time off after this one. And in fact, as we have this change, all the players have come to the sideline actually to get a much needed drink. So definitely Stearman, definitely Dobbin, and we're going to see Tom Barkhausen come on as well. He has been a regular starter for Derby, but he has had injury of late, so he's going to come on. Be interesting to see who they replace. Lewis Dobbins scored an absolute stunner against Torquay recently in the FA Cup. Volley from outside the box. And that makes sense, doesn't it, David?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Dobbins scored a great goal the other day, one of the goals of the season, for sure.
So Dobbins on for Collins, that's the first change, so that's an interesting one. Dobbin primarily has operated in a deeper role in midfield. Thompson coming off as well, and Barkhausen coming on, and Stearman, the veteran defender,
16, Liam Thompson,
is going to come on. So Barkhausen's on for Thompson, Dobbins on for Collins, and we'll just wait to see this final change. Richard Stearman, 35 years young.
Jake Rooney, I think, is the man.
So he's on for Jake Rooney.
34, Jake.
Realise how depressing it is when you're talking about veterans and they're 35 and they're 8 years younger than you are. Time catches up with all of us in the end. So Stearman's on.
You sound like Wayne Rooney there.
Yes, good point. Yes, Wayne Rooney had his stay on the Cristiano Ronaldo interview. It's caused a few shockwaves in football. Can he cause a few shockwaves at the World Cup for Portugal? We will see. Cristiano Ronaldo. You'll hear every kick across the Talksport network, including England's game against Iran on Monday. 1 o'clock kickoff for that one on Talksport.
Well, I think the crowd had quieted down a little bit, and Danny Cowley's turned around to again to try and get him going. I mean, they've lost a little bit of that impetus. Had a really good spell, didn't they, for probably good 15-20 minutes, maybe more, and didn't quite get that goal. Didn't craft anything really clear-cut, did they, either, despite having a lot of the ball and looking threatening, which is, you know, still something they've got to work on.
Flicked on by Curtis as the attendance is announced, 18,623.
Good crowd, isn't it? Another really good crowd.
Friday night under the lights, it's been captivating fare, no goals, but it's been a really good tussle between two good sides who have ambitions to win promotion this season. Portsmouth 5th in the table, Derby 6th. That will stay the case. It was only going to be a massive win for Portsmouth that would have taken them above 4th place Peterborough tonight. As Dobbin with a little turn away from Ogilvie goes down. Lewis Dobbin on loan from Everton, just 19. We're in the final 10 minutes at Fratton Park. It's Portsmouth 0, Derby 0 on Talksport 2. Kevin Hatchard and David Connolly commentators.
I just wonder whether maybe, you know, Paul Warne substitutions and, you know, what he's left with on the pitch now. Is it more of a case of a, you know, 5-4-1, we have what we hold, and, you know, a point away from home, especially how Portsmouth played in this second half, we'll take that. Seems to be the case.
It's going to be Joe Wildsmith to take. Former England Youth International goalkeeper, 26 now. Derby's number 1. And he sends that high and long into the Portsmouth penalty area, headed away strongly. Nodded down by Harahan. Sibley chips it into the penalty area. And it just got away from Forsyth. He looked ready to have an effort at the far post, and it was just taken away from him at the final moment.
What a header by Clark Robertson that was. I mean, that looked, as you say, just coming onto the header Forsyth at the back post. And then he would have had a clear chance to take the ball down and strike a goal only from a couple of yards out. Brilliant header from Robertson. Faintest of touches, but boy was that needed.
Corey Smith to take this throw on halfway for Derby County. The Rams have been under pressure for a lot of this second half, but they've defended well. Not really been a huge amount for Joe Wildsmith to do in the Derby goal tonight. At the other end, Josh Griffiths has made the save of the game in this second half, denying Sibley what would have been the opening goal. Here is 21-year-old Aaron Cashin. Works it to the left-hand side. Bit of space here for Forsyth. Forwards to Barkhausen, who lays it off. Crossing from the left-hand side is over here. That was a poor delivery, actually. They had a number of white shirts to aim for there, and then Curtis doubling back well. Puts in the challenge on Corey Smith, but it is a Derby throw. Down with the corner flag on the near side, the Derby right, as we look at it.
Well, they are more inclined to sort of pick a pass now, Derby. They don't have big Collins up top. You know, when they get the ball wide, previously they just swing it in the box. Now they're just trying to be a little bit cuter, a little bit cleverer, keeping the ball, although they don't dare.
Yeah. Commentators curse there, Mr. Connolly. It's a powerful thing, folks. And it will be a throw to Portsmouth in their own left-back zone. Ogilvie with the more traditional method of using the jersey to dry the ball. None of this towel nonsense. Here it goes, up towards Pack, chested down. Ogilvie just hammers it high towards halfway. Curtis tries to flick it infield and misses the ball entirely. And then Pack sweeps up in midfield with a strong header. Bit of head tennis here between these two, and then Scarlett tried to win it and actually wins the free kick from Stearman, who was a little too overzealous in trying to win that. More than 500 senior appearances, Richard Stearman, across his various clubs down the years.
Yeah, played with Richard at Leicester. Another player I know well.
It's going to be a free kick here for Portsmouth, just inside the Derby half. Pack with a deep breath raises the left arm and sends it long. Goalkeeper comes and does very well. He's everything in the air tonight, by and large. Joe Wildsmith has dealt with exceptionally well, and he called that on the full.
Yeah, it looks like there is that change, Piggott, which I think this change should have happened. If it is the change, if it is for Dale Scarlett, I think it should have happened 20 minutes ago.
He's been struggling to make an impact, Scarlett.
But that, you know what, his body language, it was so clear, you know, and that is what you've got to be in tune with on the side as a manager. You know, if it is Scarlett that comes on, which I imagine it must be, because, you know, he's on his haunches, and he was a bit slow in his movements, and you've got to pick up on that as a coach really, really quickly. You're at home, the game's in the balance here, you know, you're in the ascendancy, but you've got one of your front two, it's just not quite happening for him. Make a change. You know, make a change before it's too late. Now, it could be too little too late.
The referee has stopped the play here. Portsmouth are furious because they were on the attack, but Derby have a man down, and the referee just judging that he needs to stop the game. I think there was a suggestion it was a head injury. It is down to the referee whether the game stops, and he is actually asking for the medic to come on. So even though Portsmouth don't like it, it's something that the referee has to do. And we've had nearly 40 minutes of this second half, so moving into the last 5 minutes of normal time, and it remains Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Just go back to that point about Dane Scarlett. Is there an element of, especially with a young player, making him play through it, even though it's not going his way, even though he seems unhappy, actually saying just get on with it?
No, because I don't think he's sort of in the goal scoring form that you go, you know what, he'll nick us a goal anyway. You know, so it is a change. Like I said, been saying it for about 20 minutes, and there's lots of things you need to be successful. It's all right to say, you know, you play a certain way, or things haven't gone your way. As a manager on the sideline, you've got, as well as harnessing the crowd as the Cowboys try to do, you've got to notice the subtle nuances from your players to go, well, you know what, even little bits of his movement aren't quite as sharp as I want, and we're on top at home. I need to do something here. If it's not quite working for Dan, nothing wrong with that. It's not quite your night. Okay, we'll get Joe on.
So Joe Piggott is on loan from Ipswich. Hasn't scored in the league since August. Now would be a good time to change that as we tick into the final few minutes here on Talksport 2, Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Our commentary position is just above the benches. If Dave Connolly had shouted a bit louder, Danny Cowley might have heard him and made that change a bit earlier. Derby are going to make a change here. They're going to bring on Will Osula, who looked really, really good in the 2 FA Cup games against Torquay. Ball long towards Curtis, heads it on towards the edge of the Derby penalty area. And Osula ready to come on. Looks as though they were going to make that change, and Portsmouth's just got on with it, but they've not been able to make anything of that attack. Osula is a Danish under-19 international on loan from Sheffield United. And he is a lively player. He's got 5 goals in all competitions. Portsmouth fans are suggesting that Derby are taking far too long over this. It's going to be David McGoldrick who makes way for Osula. This has taken a long time, to be fair. So McGoldrick taking the time to applaud the away fans, of course. And you do get the sense Derby County are happy with the point.
Yeah, and the reason they're taking a long time on this is the ball went off and the substitute Derby subs have got the ball. They're in no rush. They're not going to throw it back. And I think with the triple change they made earlier as well, it was pretty clear that Derby, I think, were content with a point.
So made a couple of changes in attack now. Dobbin has moved to this right-hand side. You've got Osula and Barkhausen through the middle. Colby Bishop wrestling with Bird there in midfield. They've really restricted Colby Bishop, who's a man in form. He's barely had a sniff in attack tonight for Portsmouth. Decision goes Derby's way. Throw in on the near side, the right. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0 on Talksport 2. Corey Smith to take this throw. Midway inside that Portsmouth half. Troubling Derby fans trying to do their bit. Smith taking his time. Movement ahead of him down that right-hand side, and it's thrown down towards the corner flag, and it was Osula trying to win at least a corner, and he's actually placed the ball in the corner quadrant, even though it was quite clearly signalled that it was a goal kick.
And I think the challenge as well for the Cowleys would be for someone like Dane Scarlett is that, that first loan, the success of that loan, going Saturday, Tuesday, the robustness that you need to do that as a league player is something that he's got to get into his game, and so he might have fits and starts, right? He does well for 2-3 games, there's another foul, but it's about that consistency, being able to just keep going even when you're not at your best, but you're still offering a goal threat, or you're still retaining the ball, and those little bits as a centre forward that you need that we probably haven't quite seen from him tonight.
It's interesting, you listen to Rico Hackett, who's on the bench for Portsmouth tonight. He said about Scarlett, I don't want to jinx him, but he's going right to the top, terrorises defences, has a desire to win the ball, but it's been a tough one for Scarlett tonight, and he goes off without having really done too much damage to Derby. We're in the final minutes of normal time, and it's launched forward by Wildsmith, headed away by Portsmouth from their edge of their own box. The aerial challenges have been prevalent tonight. Ball out towards the left-hand side here for Derby. Got plenty forward here, actually. Harahan trying to make space for the left-footed cross. It's blocked, and it spins out on the far side. It looks as though that'll be a throw to Derby. They wanted the corner, but it didn't go their way. And Derby have got the ball where they want the ball at the Portsmouth ends. Final 20 seconds of normal time at Fratton Park. And a blank score sheet still. These two locked together on points in the League One table, 5th and 6th. And they are taking their time, and Barkhausen winding up for a long one here. And the Portsmouth fans are getting really frustrated with this as Derby inch towards what is clearly their target. High throw into the box, and swept away by Raggett. He's defended pretty well tonight, Sean Raggett. Dave Connolly said he'd be important, and we're going to have 6 minutes of added time. So that's an interesting twist. Portsmouth fans happy about that. Did have a couple of minutes while Wildsmith was treated, of course, and we've had a fair few substitutions in this second half. Another long throw by Derby, a couple of players down in the 6-yard box, referee unmoved, and Portsmouth clear, and now Mingy charging forwards into the Derby half. Still going, is brought down, and the referee has the yellow card in his hands and gives the free kick to Portsmouth midway inside the Derby half, and then it's going to be a yellow card for Dobbin. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He's played well, hasn't he, Mingy? I think he's been certainly one of Portsmouth's best players tonight. I think he's done really well, and that's a position that I think for a lot of Portsmouth fans, they feel is a bit of an issue, that central midfield position, but him and Marlon Pack have done pretty well in there.
Full of energy, full of intent. Had a loan spell at Maidenhead last season. It's going to be a free kick then to Portsmouth in stoppage time. Played by Pack into the penalty area, headed down by Raggett. Just wouldn't come down for Portsmouth. Derby desperately trying to clear their lines. Referee urged to give a free kick, but unmoved, and Mingy has to go all the way back to Griffiths, who hits it long down the centre. Bishop with the header on, stayed onside, did well. And they want a free kick there, and they're not going to get one. It was Piggott who went down, and Derby are on the move down the left-hand side with Barkhausen, who is quick, and that's a brilliant challenge by Swanson. That was outstanding from him, just toe-ending the ball away from Barkhausen. And that's going to be a throw into Derby, level with the edge of the penalty area on the far side of the Derby left. Yeah,
it's going to come in the box though, isn't it, again?
2 minutes of stoppage time gone. We're going to have 6 altogether here on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Portsmouth 0, Derby 0. Is there a twist in the tail? Sibley has lost it, and now Portsmouth can break with Dale. It's been a great battle between those two tonight, and Dale eventually has the ball bounced away from him. And it is going to be a Derby throw, much to the annoyance of Portsmouth. And Derby inch a bit closer to that point that has seemed in the last few minutes they crave. It'll be another game if it ends 0-0, where Portsmouth have had good spells but haven't been able to turn 1 point into 3. They would extend their unbeaten run here. Haven't lost at all here this season in League One. And Derby inching down the left touchline. They have another throw midway inside the Portsmouth half.
And I think because of that record, that comes back to about respecting the point I think that Derby will take here. You know, every time the ball's gone off play in the second half, they've been very slow to get it back in play, haven't they? Even the last few minutes, you know, throwing it around the pitch and just wasting valuable seconds. They know that this will be a good point.
That breaks down for Derby. It's going to be a throw to Portsmouth in their right back zone. How much urgency will they show as they look for what could be a precious win in the promotion race in League One? Top 2, Plymouth and Ipswich are charging clear. Battle for playoff spots, very intriguing. Of course, there's still a long way to go this season. Here's Curtis, drops the shoulder. Little move on the edge of the area, and then Mingy's low shot is gathered on the bounce by Joe Wildsmith. It was a really nice move, that on the edge of the Pompey box, edge of the Derby box rather, and Mingy with the right foot shot, but Wildsmith all in line, made a comfortable save.
It's like a pass back, but, you know, powder puff. It's a 10th shot, first on target, you know, and we're in the, 94th minute. That sums it up. You know, just put your foot through that, at least try and look like you want to score. You know, side-footing it from the edge of the box, and...
Well, it needs to be right in the corner if you're going to do that, and it was right at the goalkeeper in the end. But they did quicken the pace at least in the build-up to that shot. Nice little interchange on the edge of the box. They've struggled to do that tonight. Haven't really been able to open Derby up too often. And we have had 4.5 minutes of stoppage time. We've got about 90 seconds to go at Fratton Park. A frustrating night for Portsmouth, although Derby have had some big moments in front of goal. They probably come the closest to scoring tonight. Sibley had a shot saved in the second half. The Goldrick hit the bar in the first half. Forsyth shot wide from about as close as you can get to the goal line, really, with a chance that came in very, very quickly. So Derby have had the better chances tonight. even if Portsmouth have had territory and possession in this second half. Smith taking his time to take this throw for Derby, with 5 minutes of stoppage time having elapsed. Header from Robertson, it'll drop on halfway for Mingy, free kick given against him, and that's going to be an opportunity for Derby to take more time off the clock, and maybe Dave Connolly have one final free kick and send it forwards, although they don't seem to be loading the box.
No, I think they'll take the time, because it looked like he just led with his arm here. Mingy might have just caught Horan in the face, as it is. Well, it's in a position you'd imagine. Would the goalkeeper take this? No. Well, so if he's not, maybe. Well, they've got a high line, Portsmouth. They're about 15 yards outside the box, so they're trying to force Derby away from goal as much as they can. You might as well try and go for it here, Derby, no?
We're going to take this free kick. It's Smith, lofted high towards the edge of the area. It'll come out towards the left-hand side. It's an opportunity to play the ball in here, and a free header, and it goes just wide. It was Cashin's header, and he couldn't quite find his man at the far post. The ball went wide, and it is a goalless draw at Fratton Park. Portsmouth pushed hard in the second half, but couldn't really fashion too many clear-cut chances. Over the course of the 90 minutes, it was Derby who came closest to scoring. David McGoldrick in the first half with a thumping right-foot effort that crashed against the crossbar with the goalkeeper beaten. And in the second half, Louis Sibley brought a brilliant save from Josh Griffiths, and the rebound was cleared off the goal line. It's another draw for Portsmouth here at Fratton Park. Derby, I think, will be happier with the points. It has ended Portsmouth 0, Derby County 0.